Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Hearthstone here on the channel. I went ahead and made a hunter deck and got us a new deck with a class we have not played before here on the channel. So I threw in a couple of trackings, Stone Tusk Boars, a couple of Timber Wolves, an Explosive Trap, some Haunted Creepers, a King's Elec, Scavenging Hyena, a couple of Companions, a Deadly Shot, some Kill Commands, some Unleash the Hound, Stable Master, Multi-Shots, Hound Masters, a Lost Tall Strider, an Explosive Shot, King of Beast, a Ram Wrangler, Maxna, a Savannah Highmane, and Sneed's Old Shredder. And I think we're going to just jump right into the ladder and see how well we can do here. Should be interesting. I have not played Hunter since right after the game first came out. It was one of my favorite classes, but I just shied away from it. Favored Druid a little more, some Priest. Just a little more fun. Hunter's kind of, I don't know, it feels a little basic compared to the other classes, a little less interesting. Keep the first two, get rid of the Tall Strider. There are some pretty fun combinations though, just nothing really that different. Not as many big risky plays you can make. Go ahead and put out the Charge Boar. Deal 1 damage and see if they have anything for turn 2. Or turn 1. We got the King's Elec for the next turn. It would be nice to draw that card, but still very nice to get the minion on the board as well. Scavenging Hyena is always interesting, and we will not draw the card. They have Toshland there. Alright. Looks like a Mech Mage deck. And we can kill off that Mech Warper next turn with the Elec and put out a Scavenging Hyena if we wanted to. Demolisher could be a bit of a pain. We get a 6/4 Hyena out there. Multi-shot would be interesting, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Make that a 3/4. Might keep this alive just as a target potential for the little thing. And fortunately, it does hit the Hyena though. If he wants to kill it off, we'll still have to either ping it or trade, and he's gonna ping it. So we get a pretty nice board for an animal companion here. Unleash the Hounds, it's too early for. Puffer, kill that off, and he stays alive with 1 health, and it's a nice ping target for next turn, however. But that would still use half of his mana on turn 4. Don't know if he wants to slow himself down too much. And he won't, so Huffer can trade into the Spider Tank now. Get some pretty good value here. Alternatively, nothing that I really want to use in the hand, unfortunately. Definitely going to kill that off with Puffer and trade into that. Clear off the board, but we don't have anything really to follow up. Just do 2 damage. Could have used Unleash the Hounds, but prefer that not be just 2 1/1 Hounds with charge for 3 mana. And looks like he only has a ping and anything for 3 mana. No. We can put out Maxna. It'll probably get Polymorph, but we don't really have any other choice here other than doing 6 damage, which is not the best, and it does. Still keeps a beast on the board, and he only has 4 mana left. So we could, in theory, do 10 damage to him if we wanted to. Explosive Shot is interesting. Unfortunately, we are just getting spells here. Do you want to do 10 damage to him? No. Don't want to Unleash the Hounds. Don't want to use Explosive Shot. I'll just hit him for 2. Kill the shield off with a sheep. Wait for him to put out something potentially bigger for some spells. 5 health minion would be nice, along with something smaller. Would be optimal for us. Pilot of the Sky Golem kind of fits that. Explosive trap still doesn't solve the problem we have. I am going to kill that off though. Gets him a water elemental. And just hero power again. This deck is mainly beasts, but so far we've drawn probably 70% spells so far. Now he's able to get a bunch of cheap mechs out pretty easily. Deals quite a bit of damage with Blast Mage. Freezes us, but we have a pretty decent board for Unleash the Hounds at least. King of Beasts. Good combo with Unleash the Hounds. Makes it a 6/6. But I think it is better to try to clear off some of the minions on his board. Or do we want to go with King of Beasts? Kill off one of the bigger guys too. I think I'm going to multi-shot here. Kill that off. Explosive trap, hit those two, hit them all once each, bring him down to 2 health. And we have a trap that'll kill him if he attacks. Just see what he does here. Hopefully he doesn't have anything that buffs his minions. There we go, explosive trap kills them all off. Now we just gotta see what he has for turn 9. Luckily his mech warper's gone. We got a Force Tank Max. Alright. So we can use a Savannah High Main here. Probably gets killed by the Force Tank. Go ahead and do that just to get it to where it actually takes damage. Does remove 5 damage from us. So not in the greatest position here. Neutron is pretty bad as well. Blast Mage 2. And he's able to crossbolt and kill off the High Mage. Alright. We'll get a couple of hyenas, which will make this a 4/2 with taunt. Kill command something, get it down, and we stay alive probably one more turn. Or he could roll the dice, but I'm going to go with this. Kill command the Blast Mage. Kill him off. Shoot him for 2. So still have a chance in this. Force Tank Max won't be able to kill us as long as he doesn't have a spell in his hand, like a Polymorph or a Fireball. We got 2 cards, and we have a pretty good board presence. There's one of them. Ping's gonna kill off a Hyena. And I'll kill off the King of Beasts with that. Haunted Creeper and Animal Companion. Leok is actually not too horrible here. Gives a chance to kill off his Force Tank and could go either way right now. We have better presence on the board, but he has 2 cards in his hand that who knows what they are. Fireball, and that'll do it. Alright. So, first match didn't go quite as well as would have hoped, but still hop back in there and try to get back into rank 18 with this Hunter deck. Go ahead and roll this wheel until we find an opponent. I'm trying to think if there's anything we could have done there. We just really couldn't get any momentum going early on, otherwise we probably would have won that one. Too many spell cards to start out with, and I'll start out with 2 cards that I don't want. I'm gonna get rid of Deadly Shot just because it's not really useful early on in the game. Get a couple of good cards in these two. Unleash the Hounds, if he floods the board, will be nice. I'd always love to have Animal Companion tracking. It'll give us a choice of whatever card we want from 3 of them in our deck. We have a pretty good chance to get something useful. There's a turn 2 play on the Haunted Creeper. And do we want any of these? I think we go with Houndmaster because we have turn 2 and turn 3 covered. Houndmaster gives us a nice turn 4. So we have a pretty good start out and a pretty good backup plan to Unleash the Hounds, just in case he's playing Murlocs or something else. All depends on what he plays. He doesn't have anything for turn 1, so we're going to throw out the Creeper here. Not worthwhile playing a Timberwolf with an empty board. Animal Companion next turn, pretty safe to say that is probably the best move we could play. As long as it isn't something... I don't know, if we keep the Haunted Creeper alive, yeah, it could be still useful, buffing it up to a 2-2. Prefer the Taunt. If he doesn't play anything, the Boar would be pretty well too. So whatever comes out of it will probably be pretty good for us. He's gonna just shapeshift this turn, so that is really good for us. And it just hits us in the face for 1. It's going to get us a couple of pretty good minions out early on. And it is the taunt. Play Timberwolf next turn and Unleash the Hounds if you get some minions out. Do quite a bit of damage. He said he's getting a lot of cards into his hand right now, so I'm wondering if maybe he has quite a few late game cards. He's just trying to survive for Innervate into a Bomb Lobber, which will do the best potential thing it could have done. Gets us a couple spiders, can't kill off the taunt, and there goes his Innervate. Alternatively, that would have been really bad for us, but not the worst thing that could have happened, even if he did kill off the taunt. And looks like he might be trying to decide on another play here, as he is quickly running out of time. We have the Houndmaster next turn, then turn 5. Best play would probably be Unleash the Hounds and Timberwolf if he tries to flood the board in response, but not really likely. This would be good if we had something to give taunt. We don't, however, but still, it is the best play we have. We can do 8 damage to the face here. Puts a harder taunt wall to get by, and we have... Timberwolf's not great in this scenario. Multi-shot if he plays some minions in response. Unleash the Hounds too. Unleash the Hounds, Timberwolf could be pretty good. Gives us a couple 2-1s if he plays enough cards for it. And looks like he just left the game. So either he DC'd or the Bomb Lobber just fell back on him too much. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and jump into another one. Maybe the Bomb Lobber just lost him so much momentum just killing off the Creeper that he decided to leave or something. I do not know. Hop back into a third match here. Try to get another win against a Shaman, a Golden Shaman at that. And do we get the coin? We do, and this is optimal for us. Get a turn 1 Boar, turn 2 Creeper, and then Unleash the Hounds if we need it. Alternatively, we could use the Houndmaster on turn 3 with the coin. Give us a pretty good taunt, maybe on the Creeper. A 1-1 with charge. That is... No, Boar. It's always nice on turn 1. I just don't really... Never been that big of a fan of it, as it pretty much dies to anything. If you're facing a Murloc deck though, it can be pretty good. But it's always nice to have a little charge minion out there. See what this guy can do for turn 2 before we put out a Haunted Creeper. Could try to coin out our Ram Wrangler and hope for a pretty big beast out of him, but don't know if he'll be able to counter it or not. Taunt's going to be a bit annoying. Put out the Creeper. Do we coin out the Timberwolf here? I think we do, just to kill off the Taunt. Gets us a few minions on the board, some buffs. Decent board presence here. We can respond to whatever he puts out with Unleash the Hounds if we need to. Or we can just do 7 damage to the face. Lightning Storm, not too bad. It's just 3 minions, brings out a couple more after it. We get Tracking here, which will give us another Tracking. Or I think I'm going to stay with Deadly Shot. Get something in our back pocket to deal with any big minions he has, because judging by how slow he's played in the first couple turns, he probably does. He only has 2 mana here for turn 4, so that is very nice for us. And Houndmaster is not good for us at all right now. These 2 don't count as beasts. None of our cards really work here, so I think we're just going to put out an Explosive Trap to wait and use the hero power for 2 damage. He's got 5 mana now, and see what he can play here. Twilight Drake buffs up to a 4/7. We can Deadly Shot that and play the Elec. And hope we can draw a card. We do, we draw Savannah Hyneman, which could play on turn 6 if we wanted to, or else we could put out the King of Beasts, or the Ram Wrangler, not King of Beasts. Get a random minion and risk it a little bit more, which I think I might actually do. It's a 3/3, but having another minion out might be pretty good for us. It's going to use a Fire Elemental, kill off the Elec. Could be a lot worse. Go ahead and use that, hope for something really good here. And we don't have a beast because these don't count as beasts. Alright, so that was a pretty bad misplay because I didn't realize that we only had non-beast cards on the board. So that was completely my fault. Still a pretty good chance here. Explosive Trap does quite a bit for us. We're still going to take 6 damage, but we can get a couple minions on the board and clear off his board. So deal 2 damage to him. He's got an empty board. The 2 Fire Elementals are gone. We had to get rid of those. Didn't really have any choice. Could buff up our 2 Hounds next turn if we wanted to, or else put out a Highmane. Technician's gonna get a 5/3, and then he's got a Defender of Argus. He's a 4/6 with Taunt. Animal Companion here into a Boar. Do we buff the Boar up? Or we just do this and buff up this guy. Kill those off, give the Hound Taunt, make it a 4/3. Do 4 damage, get some pretty decent board control here as long as he doesn't have another Lightning Storm. Elemental Destruction, that kills his next turn pretty much, gives him another Drake, but we have a better minion in our hand right now. And a Tall Strider. So go ahead and put out a pretty sticky minion. He only has 5 mana this turn. You can do quite a bit of damage, or clear off his board. I think bring him down to 3 health would be better than doing the alternative of killing off the Drake. Even if he kills him off, it'll still summon a couple Hyenas for us. And he does, he uses his turn to kill it off. So we get a couple of Hyenas, and we'll have a Tall Strider next turn. And we'll put out a Totem, or does he have another card? Totem. Healing Totem. makes it to where we can't kill that off, which is a bit annoying unless we get a multi-shot. Put out a Tall Strider and deal 4 damage to the face. So we're looking pretty good here if he doesn't have a board clear or a taunt. We have lethal as long as we can keep the Tall Strider alive without being blocked. And judging by how long he's taking, he might not have the solution to it. He might though. Alright, he's gonna kill off the hyena, which still doesn't keep him alive unless he maybe gets a taunt totem, which he does not. So we end up winning this one against the Golden Shaman. Unless he has something for 1 mana that will keep him, and he doesn't. So there we go. We end up getting a couple wins at the back end of the episode, so it's pretty nice. Got some decent results with the deck, 2 out of 3. And looking forward to hopping back in on the next one. So as always, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all again next time.